You look so cute and shy.
I'm super shy, my goodness.
Why are you shy?
Because it's first time wearing this one.
Have you met Mia, your happy short Filipina relationship advisor?
Don't get a Filipina girlfriend.
You probably have, since you're watching this video.
How to have a successful relationship with a Filipina? Who doesn't want to marry someone who's actually gonna listen to you?
Follow the subscribe button and I'll give you some more serious tips.
Now it's time to meet the guy in the background, Monami.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna have to bear with me. Typically, I don't do these type of videos. My clients, friends, family have asked me to finally get on social media, YouTube, Instagram, and start sharing some of my skills and knowledge. I have a huge database of videos that I've recorded for my clients over the years on steps by steps on how to do things, whether it be building a WordPress website, starting a dropshipping business, registering a business as registering an LLC or an S Corp. I have so much stuff that I've just never shared publicly. And I think the biggest reason why is because for a long time, I had an unnatural fear of the camera, or I guess you could call it social pressure, or dealing with negative comments from people, just because my mindset wasn't there. Even though myself, the type of person that I am, I honestly don't care about those things. And I use that as an excuse to not be here. So even though it's 10 years later and I'm way behind the curve with hopping on social media, I am here now. And the video I'm recording today, again, as I stated before, it is for my podcast on RSS. I'll drop a link in the description below. But the primary reason for today's podcast and YouTube video is going to be introduction to remote earning with WordPress. And you're also going to see me looking off to the right because I am using a script, and that's okay. Like I said before, I typically don't do these type of videos where I'm talking at the camera or speaking to a YouTube audience. So I'm using an asset to help me. And if you're one of those people who did the same thing as I did, you made a bunch of excuses and decided just not to do anything because of irrational fear, is what I call it. Forget about that and start doing you. You are the only thing that's going to stop you in your life. Your dreams aren't going to chase you. You got to go chase them. So start this off. I'm going to start telling you about how I started my journey with WordPress. And my first client paid me $250 to create a dropshipping website for them. And I probably spent more than that myself just on gathering the assets that I needed to complete the project for them, because I was inexperienced at that time. And that $250 doesn't seem like a lot, but it gave me a lot of experience, which is worth way more than the little $250 that I earned from the project that I did. So now I'm going back and I'm looking at the script so that I don't miss anything. So as I look off to the right and the left, don't mind me, just know that I'm going to be doing this for a while until I figure out my own kind of workflow here that's going to work very well. But for now, I'm going back to my script. So yeah, deal with it. So today we're starting off our series on remote earning possibilities in the world of WordPress, like I said earlier. We begin with an intimate look at my journey from a humble $250 project to the massive heights of $10,000 ventures. Now that I've been doing this for a long time, I started back in 2014, we're almost in 2024. My base rate, before I even considered touching a project, I started off at $3,000. I don't touch anything WordPress for less than $3,000. And then it goes up from there depending on the type of project that I'll be working on. Now, 10 years ago, I couldn't do that because I didn't even know how to log into the admin for the most part. I would mess that up all the time. Now I can do it with my eyes closed. Now I have the experience and the knowledge. If I see a WordPress problem, I don't have to go and search for the information on how to fix the problem. I already know how because I've been doing this for a decade. So next, now to truly appreciate the significance of this journey, I know it sounds like I'm reading like a robot, right? But again, deal with it because I am learning something new. I'm acquiring a new skill. It's crucial to first understand the shift that remote work has experienced. The days of 9 to 5, meaning that you have to sit in the office and work for somebody else and then go home and then repeat the cycle, those days are gone now. We live in a digital era. Somewhere right now, there's a 16-year-old kid who just went to Code Cannon and purchased a script for about $200. He's installing it on the server and building social media platforms for the script. And the next year, he's gonna work it out, he's gonna market it, he's gonna save money, pay advertising, and that 16-year-old kid, when he turns 17, is already gonna be a millionaire because that's the world we live in now. And that's a really realistic and very doable possibility. That is our current generation. Gone are the days of 9 to 5. People still have 9 to 5s, yes, but during the pandemic, we saw a large majority of brick and mortar buildings close and a lot of remote businesses come up overnight. Literally, the world will be your workplace. Especially with WordPress at your fingertips, the possibilities are literally endless. I work from home. You're looking at my background right now. I'm in my home office, and sometimes you'll see me doing videos or talking to clients at Starbucks, or I spend a lot of time abroad. Myself, my wife, and my kids, we spend a lot of time in Asia. We like going to Korea. We like going to the Philippines. We like going to Thailand, Singapore, Laos. That's our thing. Next winter, not this winter, we'll be going back to Germany. I like going to Austria and snowboarding over in Garmisch. That's one of my hobbies. I'm not good at it anymore since I'm almost 40, but I do enjoy it. I like going to Bear Mountain in Korea, snowboarding there. I like snowboarding over in Garmisch, Pakistan, right off of Austria, about 4 to 6 hours away from Paris. That's my thing. So I like to travel. And having a remote business, all I need is my computer. Sometimes I can even do the work from my cell phone. And that is a beautiful thing. I'm not constrained to be at an office or report to anybody and say, hey, can I take vacation? Can I get permission to go somewhere with my family? No, those days are quickly going away. So back to my beginning. My journey started innocently enough. A client gave me $250 for a dropshipping site. And how can I say this? When I got that first client, it was nerve-wracking, right? Because I didn't know if I could deliver the project, but I was confident that I could. I know that the budget amount was unrealistic, but I also knew that I didn't have the skills. How would I navigate the technical challenges or even be able to build client relationships since it was my first attempt? But that project was more than just a task. It was a learning experience with so much value. Every time I made a mistake, every late night, every aha, I figured it out moment was worth more than any course or any in-person training could have gave me, because it let me experience things hands-on. It allowed me to make a bunch of mistakes and then find the solutions for those mistakes. And with that mindset and with that ability, right now when I develop a WordPress problem, a common problem that I see a lot of people having, especially newbies and beginnings, I turn that problem into a service. Hey, you have this WordPress issue? Give me $150, $250. I'll fix it for you in the next 24 hours. An extra $100 if you need it in the next 12 hours. So being able to have those experiences where I created problems that are common problems for newbies, I now turn those problems into services. And those services now generate additional income. So that learning experience, that first $250 client, was a huge blessing for me, and I'm thankful for it. Even though I probably spent more on the client's project than they spent themselves, it was an invaluable lesson. Okay, moving on to the next part. Let's go. So I just said it, but it's in here again. What that $250 project taught me was the importance of relationship building. Understanding my client's vision, their market, and their goals was very important. It wasn't just about creating a website. It was about building a digital presence that resonated with their target audience. So what does that mean? I had to figure out the vision of the client, see what their ultimate goal was, because dropshipping people, for the most part, they want to just earn money, but you still have that target audience. For this person, it was a pet dropshipping store for dogs. They wanted to get dog toys, dog clothing, doggy bags for when they go to the park. Just everything that was dog related. I had to make sure that I could resonate with the client's target audience, which was dog owners, and then also the target location. Because after we finished the project, we did some test ads to see if we could generate income. And we were able to. In the first 12 hours, our client had their first sale, and they were really excited about it, and I was excited for them because I was able to be a part of that client's journey. They had a very small budget. It took me a lot longer to finish the project than it should have, but I was able to complete it successfully to where the client was actually able to generate income from the work that I did. So that was a really satisfying and a really fulfilling experience. Moving on to the next one, I'm reading my notes. Y'all can laugh at me in the comments if you want to, but this is how I'm gonna do it until I figure this out. Like I said, I traditionally don't do stuff like this. Usually I'm working on a client's project and I'm screen sharing and recording myself, and I'm showing them the mistakes and going step by step, providing solutions, or even showing them how I fixed the problems and showing them some of the pros and cons of the way they did something. Or I'm doing a custom build, or I'm fixing something that the client already built, or fixing something that somebody else had built for my client. and then going in and just getting rid of all the ridiculous stuff that they put in there because they were just new and didn't know what they were doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I do. So right now I'm going back to my notes because this is my first time doing this type of video. So bear with me. The digital realm is vast and the demand for a solid online presence is continuously growing. Yes, I did use ChatGPT to write that. And yes, it sounds like a robot, but it is also very true and accurate. Okay. WordPress, with its users-friendly interface and customization options, this is cheesy as hell, became my weapon of choice. But like any tool, it's only as good as the hands that wield it. Yes, you can learn how to be a WordPress developer. It's not that complicated. Yes, you can work remotely and earn money from home, but you have to go beyond the bare basics and the bare minimums and actually push your learning to another level and learn how to be a developer, not be a copy machine. And what do I mean by that? There's a lot of tutorials here on YouTube that state how to build this type of website, step by step with no step skip. Those are great for a foundation base. You can follow the steps so that you can learn how to use the interface, but you have to go beyond just following the instructor, doing what they do. Follow the instructor, do what they do. You have to push your skills farther, understand how things work, and learn how to do it in your own way so it matches your style and fits the client's goals. Too often I see people who are just copy machines. I'm gonna go look at a video from Ferdy or look at a video from Daryl Wilson, and I'm gonna just copy every single thing that they do and then turn it over to the client and say, that's all I can do. And that's terrible. And I honestly myself, I started before watching a guy named Harold, I think it was, something like that. He fell off a couple of years ago, but his whole thing was how to build a WordPress website, step by step with no step skip. And I watched his stuff, I think all of his videos. Now, one of my greatest reference videos that I use and I tell people about all the time, if you wanna learn the basics, just go look at Ferdy's current video, Ferdy Korpashuk. I probably pronounced that wrong. Ferdy, if you see this, I apologize. I don't mean to mispronounce your name. You're one of my favorite people ever. You actually motivate me to finally get on here and start making videos myself because I've been watching you for 6 or 7 years and you're awesome. I'll be surprised if I ever get to your following amount, but I'm a die-hard fan of Ferdy. I love the way that he presents himself in videos. I love the knowledge that he shares. Now, in this podcast / YouTube video, I'm not going over anything WordPress. I'm just telling you guys personally how I started and some of the pros and cons and joys that I went through as I started my journey. Again, going back to my script and my notes, my next section talks about looking back, that $250 seems like nothing compared to the $5,000 to $10,000 projects that I do now. But I still value that first $250 project so much because it opened the door. It laid down the foundation. It set that first brick so that I would be able to become the developer that I am now. I can confidently approach any WordPress project, be able to break it down and confidently tell the client, yes, I can do this, or no, I can't. Or yes, I can do this much of it, but we're gonna have to bring in a third party to get the exact things that you need because that's beyond my skill level. And that's one thing that I do. I'm very transparent with my clients, and you should be too. Don't sugarcoat, don't say, hey, yeah, I can do it, and then tell them later on after they paid you, I don't know how to do that. That's bad business. When you're dealing with people, you're dealing with their business. You are gonna be the person who either helps them succeed or causes them to fail. And a lot of people don't realize just how serious that is. Always when you're approaching a client or you're beginning a new project, you need to be fully transparent with your client. You can tell them, hey, this is what I can do, and I have a little bit of difficulty in this area. But what we can do is we can bring somebody else in to finish out this area that I struggle with. Or if you don't mind pushing the deadline an additional week, give me time to research this custom thing that you're requesting so that I can find a cost-effective way to make it happen. Transparency is key. Most people don't mind if you say, no, I can't do this. But almost everyone hates when you say, yes, I can do this, and then later on, you don't do it, right? So that's just my little 2 cents for you right there. All right, coming on down to the next part of my script here so I can stay on track. I just said it again. It represented my first step, right? That first $250 was my first step. It was that vote of confidence and that first taste of my path ahead. It was that first aha feeling that I got my first client. It was my beginning as a developer, or as I should say, a remote entrepreneur. All right. This next part is gonna sound cheesy, but I'm gonna read it anyways because I like things that are cheesy. That's just me. In the vast expanse of the digital universe, every journey begins with a single click, a single line of code, a single leap of faith. Cheesy, right? But I like it. My initial endeavors taught me to embrace challenges, to see beyond the dollar value. I really believe that. You have to see beyond the value of the project. Otherwise, I get you want to make money, but if you're just doing this to make money, you're not caring about the client, just go find something else to do. We have enough bad developers out there. Just go away. And to truly appreciate the transformative power of WordPress in the world of remote work, it's cheesy, but I like it. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with a thought. This is something that I re-edited myself, and I'm looking at my notes so I don't get it wrong. Every journey, no matter how monumental it may seem now, starts with a simple step. Embrace the beginnings, for they shape the path ahead and mold you into the professional you aspire to be. One of my biggest things, maybe it's part of my military heritage, is talking about integrity. So embrace your projects, be transparent, work through, figure things out, learn as you go. But before you dive in fully, here's my note to you. Think about what type of WordPress developer you want to be. There's a lot of different niches in this field. Before you take on your first client, I want you to rebuild your niche website about 5 or 6 times. Try to break it, fix the problems, and then break it again. Have your friends test it yourself, do everything you can to mess it up, and then see if you can recover it back to its original form. Once you're able to do that, then I would say you can go ahead and approach your first client and work on their project, because you'll have a little bit more experience, and then you'll have a lot more knowledge, and you'll be confident and be able to complete the projects without many errors because you've taken the time to gain that additional experience that you didn't have. Some people just say, okay, I watched one video, 4-hour video, I understand it, I'm gonna go get a client and then use the money to fix the problem. You can do that sometimes, but it's really just, it's a lack of integrity. Take some time, learn software, learn what you're doing, figure out your weakness, your weak areas, and then continue forward. Going on to the next part of this. Again, thank you for joining me today. As we continue in this series, this is episode 1. These will get better. I'll have some screen sharing stuff and I'll teach you guys some things along the way, but this is just my introduction to finally joining social media. So as we continue in this series, we'll dive deeper into the world of remote earning as a WordPress web developer, exploring challenges, celebrating milestones together. If you follow and you join, we'll probably end up in a conversation. You'll catch some of my live streams in the future, and then we'll just go from there, sharing insights to help you carve your own path in this exciting domain. So until next time, keep learning, keep dreaming, keep pushing those digital boundaries, and remember, financial independence is closer than you think. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.